Shota Imanaga doing it again on the mound. We're going to talk about the Japanese left-hander and what he's been able to do so far for the Cubs this spring. David Bote making a case to be on the Cubs roster opening day, or at least this season. We're going to talk about his chances after he hit another home run yesterday. And players to watch. Daniel Palencia. Man, I like this guy. I think he's got big potential. That and more right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. That's a way of saying go Cubs. We appreciate you being here. And hit the bell so you know when we're dropping new Cubs content. Let's get this party started. Go Cubs. What do you say, everybody? It's Mick Gillespie. Welcome to the Cubs Baseball channel at Broadcaster Mick on the socials. And I appreciate you guys being here. 40 years plus. I don't even get to how many over 40, but a Cubs fan going back to the 80s and then been around the organization for almost 20 years. And I got to tell you, this has been a really fun year so far. And I know we've got a long way to go and we're in spring training. But I like the way that this thing is starting to break out. Kind of reminding me of, 2006, 2007, 2008, where you start to feel some momentum, starting to feel like 2014, 15, when you're starting to see the Cubs turn the corner. So it's an exciting time to be around the organization. And, just watching the games every day has been a lot of fun. And I've been sick, and you guys know that. I've told you that. Came back from spring training with the flu. And this has been really the only thing I've gotten out of bed for, is come out and talk to you guys. So feeling a little bit better. I've actually recorded the show 4 times, but I've sneezed, I've coughed, and I go back and do it over again. So let's hope that we can get through this episode without me starting over again. But you guys wouldn't know that because we're not playing the outtakes today. How about this guy right here? Shota Imanaga. Dominant again. First game against the Dodgers, there was a lot of concern. Gave up the long home run. Felt like his fastball was going to sit in the zone. I think he tried to pitch inside a little bit too much. He's adjusted. The A's found that out the hard way. He had 9 strikeouts, no walks, 4 1/3 innings, gave up 3 hits. Did a knockout job. And he's really giving Craig Counsell and company a lot of confidence as they move forward towards opening day. Really is. He's a problem that you want. And the problem is, where am I going to put this guy in the rotation? Because I would slot him in 3 or 4, but I don't know. I mean, besides Justin Steele, this guy's been second best here lately, right? Love what he was doing, though. Working the fastball, has late life, stays up in the zone. It's probably got a little extra spin to it. The breaking ball was fantastic. You could see him setting up hitters. He looks a lot more confident now. He's adjusting to the size of the baseball, the weight of the baseball, which is different than Japan. Obviously, the hitters, the catchers, new teammates, and he's doing a great job of it. Watching him pitch was one of the highlights of spring training so far. And he's been the most exciting player to watch this spring. I think part of that is because he's new, but also watching the filth that comes out of his hands, like, things just flying all over the place. Really, really excited about Shota Imanaga. And I think he is going to still make some adjustments. There's going to be some learning to do, what's going to happen when he faces the real big league lineups. We'll see. But he's off to a fantastic start this spring. And Chris Camp guy, I got to give this guy a bunch of credit here. Really great media. Does a lot of great media stuff with Marquee. And we stole him from the White Sox, which is even better, right? But he put out a tweet talking about Shota, and he said on his Twitter, struck out 19 of 41 batters faced this spring. That's 46.3%. About that. It's pretty impressive. So basically, half of you guys are going to strike out when you face Shota Imanaga, right? So, yeah, great stuff there. All right, second guy I want to get into is David Bote. He's tied for the spring training lead in home runs. David Bote signed a major league deal, and he's on the final year with some. I think the club has options, but this is the last year of the deal, unless the club, which is the Cubs, pick up the options, the way I understand it, right? But $5.5 million this year. And last year, he was on a big league contract, played in the minor leagues, played in AAA, played in Iowa, didn't play for the Cubs. He's making a case right now to get a shot at playing on the major league team again. What would that look like? I at first, I really didn't even consider him part of the mix, right? Even at third base, I'm thinking it's Morel, right? And Wisdom maybe, and Magical maybe. And there's issues there. One doesn't hit for power, or one guy doesn't play great defense. But what about Bote? I mean, he's a good insurance plan. You can throw Master Boney in that same, conversation, but Bote's hitting for power. He's come into camp. He's locked in. Saw him a couple of times last week. I sat in the front row when the Cubs played the Diamondbacks, and he came up the bat, and I was literally behind the batter's circle there at Salt River Field. And I yelled out, "Hey, what's up, Bote?" And he turned around, kind of waved at me. Next time he came up, he's like, "Hey, Mick." So the next day I saw him at batting practice, and we talked for a while. And he's just always been a fantastic guy. But he was playing left field. He was working in left field too. So, with Hap kind of dealing with the hamstring, maybe he's a guy that could do some different stuff for you. Maybe he could play third if you needed him to, could play left field. He's hitting for power right now. I think he's someone that you got to take seriously. And he's doing everything that you need to do to turn heads and make the team. So we'll see what happens. And obviously he's not, as far as I know, he's not on the 40-man roster anymore. So he'd have to be at it to make the team. But think about the other guys that are fighting for a spot, right? The guys that are in camp on a minor league deal, be the same thing for them. And you're already paying Bote, but a different position. But Peralta and Smith and Cooper, are three guys that are kind of, trying to do the same thing. I know two of them play first base. They're kind of an insurance policy for Michael Bush. But we'll see what happens. Some guys that have had some success in the big leagues, but Bote has too. So hitting home runs and playing solid defense and giving your new manager a look, because who knows? I mean, I'm sure that having a new manager there and getting a new look is a good thing for David Bote. And good for him. I love watching a guy take advantage of an opportunity, and that's what he's doing. So he's put himself in the conversation, and there's still, a couple weeks to go. Players to watch. As I get this throat lozenge going. Daniel Palencia, Cubs reliever, hard thrower, triple-digit guy, got all the velo you want. I think that he's got the potential to be a breakout star for the Cubs. I really do. Like an Adbert Alzolay or a Julian Merriweather or a Mark Leiter Jr. I think that he could be one of those type of guys, that eventually puts it together and you can rely on late in the game. To me, the thing for him's been being able to finish off batters at the big league level. And I think with experience and confidence that he'll be able to finish guys, get that last strike, which to me was the biggest issue he had last year. Felt like he would get ahead and then, and struggle after that and not get a guy. And then he falls behind and things would go off the rails. But saw him in the minor leagues, and I know this guy's got dominant stuff. And you're just seeing him look a lot more comfortable on the mound. And the other thing too is when you're a power pitcher, it doesn't mean that you have to strike everyone out. take the pitch to contact outs. Just get the outs. And the one thing I like about Alzolay is that he'll take the contact outs. If he can get you to ground out, he'll do that. If he strikes you out, that's fine too. But Palencia is one of those guys who I think that we need to keep an eye on. I think he's going to make the team, and I think he has the potential to be a real asset for the Cubs this year. All right, final segment. I'm going to probably keep this going for a while, but it's show box score and errors, right? So different things that happen in the past I'm going to bring up. I hate when I mispronounce names. You guys bring it up, and it happens from time to time. Not perfect. The other day, I didn't plan on putting the Randy Bush interview out. I was sick, though. I couldn't get out of bed, and I couldn't even move hardly. So I was like, well, I'm going to put this up just so that I have some content. And the funny thing is, I spoke into the phone, basically voiced everything that went into the description, including the title. And the title said, something about patience. Well, it put patience and spelled it as in like sick patience and not patience as in time patience, And started feeling better, go back through and school teacher, here you go, Mick. Like, thank you. And the funny thing is, I was a patient at the time. But there was the wrong patience. We're being patient, but I'm a patient. Love you guys. Get in the comment section. Thank you so much for being here. Let's keep talking Cubs baseball. It's an exciting time. I think that this is going to be an interesting season. I think the team's going to look a lot different at the end of the year than it does at the beginning of the season because of the young guys that haven't made the impact in spring training that I thought they might. But I think when you start dealing with injuries and those guys get their opportunities, when they get comfortable in the big leagues, there's going to be jobs that are going to be there now that aren't going to be there at the end. And that's what you want. There's going to be a lot of competition on this roster. But thanks for hanging out. Make sure that you like and subscribe. And appreciate all of you guys being here. And we'll hey, and also check out the John Lester or John Lieber interview. Another great pitcher like Lester. Lieber came in the studio. We did a crossover show with Jake Coker. He and Jake are friends. And the three of us got in here and we did an hour, talked about Sammy Sosa, talked about the state of baseball, his opinion on the Cubs. And he's a regular at Cubs convention and different things. And so we talked about that. I posted the video. I'm going to throw up some shorts from it as well. But make sure if you haven't checked that out yet, or Ron Coomer, we had an opportunity to talk to the Coom Dog and Randy Bush. We're going to keep on doing those, going back out to spring training next week. And who knows, maybe we'll get some more interviews while we're out there. But go Cubs, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you again soon.